Time in YouTube, and welcome back to another episode of Dex Analysis. Today we are taking a look over the Senior World Championship deck, the Yanmega BREAK, that a lot of people thought was amazing. Like, it had a lot of fun text to it. It, being as it's from Steam Siege, it's brand new. A lot of people looked at it and said, hey, look, this is actually kind of fun. It took up, it had to battle against Seismitoad in the finals of World Championship, and I guess it had to definitely have been towards the type advantage that it won ultimately, but the deck looks a lot of fun, so we're gonna go quickly through it and see why did this deck in particular win the seniors division. So we're gonna start off obviously with the big bug himself, Yanmega BREAK. Now, before I can get into the break though, I do need to specify what makes it so good, and that actually comes from Yanmega. Stage 1, 110 HP, it's a grass type Pokemon, meaning that we can benefit from Forest of Giant Plants, which we'll get to in a second. Yanmega has the ability Sonic Vision. If you have exactly 4 cards in your hand, ignore all energy in the attack cost of each of your opponent's attacks. So, for this instance, we're using Assault Boom. Well, if I've got 4 cards in hand, it's free. It's exactly free. Now, Assault Boom isn't going to do a lot. It's going to do 50 damage, plus 70 if your opponent has a tool card, and a lot of decks, especially ones that run Fighting Fury Belt, Muscle Band, Spirit Links, they're gonna have a tool card, so you'll probably be able to hit that 120 mark no problem. But we also have the Yanmega BREAK, which gives it an HP boost up to 140, so it's still not the most bulkiest of mons, but it's pretty bulky. It has Barrier Break for 3 colorless energy, again free if I've got 4 cards in hand. I can do a guaranteed 100 damage, and this damage isn't affected by weakness, resistance, or any other effects on my opponent's Pokemon. Obviously active. So he's a pretty strong, pretty durable little mon, and being able to attack for free means our energy costs can be pretty low. We only have 4 double colorless energy in this deck. But with that being said, we have to be kind of conservative of what we're doing. We have to be able to hit the right Pokemon at the right time. So we're going to get ourselves started here with Shaman. Pretty easy reason for having it. We have 3 copies of Shaman EX. Quick shout out to Maito. Picture Box? I forget the last half of his name usually. I always call him Maito. He actually lent me a Shaman because I only own 2 at this current time. I'm going to eventually own 4, but I just don't at the moment. Shaman EX, 110 HP, colorless with the ability Set Up. When you play this Pokemon from your hand onto your bench, you may draw back up to 6. It also has Sky Return for 2 colorless energy. It's going to do 30 damage. And if you attack, you have to return Shaman and all cards attached to it back to its owner's hand. So, if I have to drop a double colorless energy onto Shaman, it might actually be better for me to attack, and that way I can get that energy back into my hand versus retreating. Another great attacker into this game is going to be the Vespa Queen, which we've seen a ton of times work with Night March. And the reason it worked with Night March is because of the Be Revenge attack. Only costing 1 double colorless energy, we're going to do 20 damage. However, this attack does 10 more damage for each Pokemon in the discard pile. So we're going to be able to accumulate quite a bit depending on situations. For the most part, if you actually take a look at the deck, it's all non-basic or non-EXs. The obvious differences here are the Shaman. And we have a couple ways of, well, we have one way of really getting Shaman back up into the hand if necessary. The other thing that Vespa Queen actually is very good for is intelligence gathering. You may draw cards until you have 6 in your hand. So this may give me the opportunity to get my hand back without actually having to play one of those Shamans. It gives us a lot of flexibility. Now, a one-of-one line here is for the Ariados. Sometimes a threat is just too big, too potent that I can't knock it out. So getting the ability to poison them is actually very beneficial. Ariados itself isn't very bulky. It's a 70 HP grass-type Pokemon with Poisonous Nest. Once during your turn, you may use this ability. Both active Pokemon are now poisoned, excluding grass types. So that's why it's really good for this deck, because grass types are just going to blossom. It's got Impound, but we'll probably never use that. So that is the Pokemon line. It's very, very straightforward, very simple. We're either using Be Revenge or we're using Mega Break to attack. Next up is going to be the Battle Compressor. Search your deck for up to 3 cards and discard them. Shuffle your deck afterwards. So depending on situations, we're definitely going to have to discard some Pokemon. Don't need Shaymins? Ditch them. Don't need the Spinarak Gyarados because our opponent is either we have a type advantage or they're just not that bulky. Get rid of them. We have the opportunity to even start sending out some of the supporters that we need to bring back from a VS Seeker. Battle Compressor is a very sad card to see leave standard play, and we're all going to probably miss it huge in the upcoming format. Next up is going to be the Level Ball. Search your deck for a Pokemon with 90 HP or less, reveal it, put it into your hand. This lets us pretty much grab the Yanmas, the entire Spinarak Gyarados line, the entire Combi Vespiquen line. It gets us the opportunity to get the card we want without having to use that Ultra Ball or losing a resource that we may have naturally needed. We have 1 copy of a Revitalizer, which is new for us. We haven't actually used the Revitalizer on the channel. Put 2 Grass-type Pokemon from your discard pile into your hand. This is a really good card to have matched up with this because I can grab that Yanmega BREAK. If I had to discard it through Battle Compressor, it might be a way for me to get it if I don't have an Ultra Ball. If I've got Revitalizer, Battle Compress out the Yanmega BREAK, get it from the Revitalizer, and BAM! I can evolve that turn. Yes. It also is a way that we don't have to be too afraid of sacrificing a card if I can get that Revitalizer. Next up is the Special Charge, which is a brand new card from Steam Siege. Shuffle 2 special energy cards from your discard pile into your deck. Being as we only run 4 double colorless energy, we really need to be careful on when and where we're using it. So if I have to lose one early game, I need a way to get it back. Special Charge was a fantastic item card because it did give us the ability to get those double colorless energies back. Now, it's not to your hand, remember that. You still haven't naturally gotten it back. You have to get it back from the deck. But better that than never getting it back at all. Next up, we have 4 Ultra Ball, a staple in mostly every deck. Discard 2 cards from your hand, search your deck for a Pokemon, reveal it, put it into your hand. Beautiful card, love it. Same thing goes for the next one, which is the VS Seeker. Put a supporter card from your discard pile back into your hand. This pairs very well with the Battle Compressor as it lets us reuse staple cards like AZ, Judge, Lysander, all of them for again and again and again. So instead of having, say, just the 1 copy of AZ, we've ditched it. Now we've got 4 potential uses of AZ again. Speaking of AZ, here he is, the AZ. Put 1 of your Pokemon back into your hand, discard all cards attached to that Pokemon. Shaymin is the likely choice here to scoop it up so that we don't have those easy prizes on the field. Next up is going to be the Judge, and this is the trainer that is going to help us get that maximum 4 cards in our hand at all times. Each player shuffles his or her hand into his or her deck, and you draw 4. I've used this time and time again in my Noivern Break decks, and Yanmega BREAK is not going to be any different. We're going to be looking over the 1 Lysander that's in the deck. Switch one of your opponent's bench Pokemon with his or her active. This lets us get the opportunity to get into a position that we may want to be benefiting in, whether it be a positive for our opponent or a negative, whether it be we're in a really bad position and we need him to slow down. We can do that. If we want to take out something that he's trying to build up, we can do that too. We have 2 copies of N. Each player shuffles his or her hand back into their deck, and then each player draws a card for each of their remaining prize cards. So if I've got 6, I get 6. If I got 2 prize cards left, that means I only get 2 cards. With that being said, though, it's really good as an interrupt to our opponent. If they're in the lead and they still need a card or 2, and we'll disrupt that, and hopefully we can keep a turn going to get ourselves maybe in a better position. We're running 4 copies of Professor Sycamore. Discard your hand, draw 7 cards. Very, very simple. And to be honest with you, it's a fantastic card. Again, you're trying to outspeed your opponent. You don't always want to grab 4 to 6 cards based on your end draw. Or Judge is just never going to be enough because it may be raw power for you, but it's not going to be enough to keep you in the game. And Sycamore will keep you in the game. Our stadium of choice is going to be Forest of Giant Plants, as we've seen already. Each player's grass Pokemon can evolve during his or her first turn, or the turn he or she plays those Pokemon. This is a fantastic thing because we can get Yanmega BREAK turn 1. We can get Ariados turn 1. Vespiquen turn 1. Not that we really want Vespiquen turn 1, but it can happen. We have the Bursting Balloon as our tool choice, which is really good because we don't want tools on our Pokemon. It means that Yanmega BREAK has to... If we were going in a mirror match here, Yanmega BREAK having a tool card against us, they could do more damage against us, which is not positive. This way, if they're going to hit us, they're going to have to take 60 damage. Now, Yanmega BREAK, again, is not that bulky, so having them take that risk of, do I take 60 and maybe not knock him out, and then he can knock me out in the following turn, Bursting Balloon is really good for that. The only downside to Bursting Balloon is I have to discard at the end of my opponent's next turn. Sorry, at the end of their turn. So there is a downside to it. But that is it for the deck, guys. We're going to be trying to get 2 battles in this week. If you guys haven't checked out my team builder for Showdown, maybe check that out. I did specify the schedule for this week. I'm going back to work at this time. I've already finished my shift, and I'll probably be going out to my parents to have some dinner, do all those kind of nice things. But due to the fact that I go back to work, I can't produce as many videos as I can when I'm on holidays. So we're gonna try and do 2 TCGO battles and 2 Showdown battles. That way everybody is happy. I don't have any, well, there are a bunch of other videos coming your way though, so this week will be full and you'll be happy. You guys will have a ton of content coming your way. You guys don't have to worry about that. But that is it for today, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed it, make sure to hit that like button because it is greatly appreciated. It lets me know that you guys are interested and you want this content to continue. But that is it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. But until then, time out.